What's up guys, Andre here of Yugatech, and as most of you already know, the Realme 9 series has arrived in the Philippines. As you read this title, this is our review for the Realme 9 Pro, and it features a Snapdragon 695, a maximum of 8GB of RAM, and 64-megapixel camera, and of course, an iridescent design. At first glance, it seems to be a downgrade from last year's Realme 8 Pro with its Snapdragon 720G SoC and 108-megapixel rear camera. And while some of the downgrades may seem practical, the question is, does the Realme 9 Pro hold up under day-to-day use? Find out in this review. By the way, we created a separate review for the higher Pro Plus version, so if you want to check that out, click here in the upper right corner or in the description box. So first, let's talk about the design. Realme ditched the slogan print on the phone seen on the 8 series and opted for a much more chic and bold style for the 9 Pro and 9 Pro Plus. The company now joins the trend in having a color-changing phone. So the unit we have is in the sunrise blue that changes color from light blue to red when exposed to sunlight, which is pretty attractive. Taking a closer look, you'll also see some glitters shimmering. It is also available in Aurora Green and Midnight Black if you're interested. More on its back, you'll see a protruding camera setup which makes the phone wobble when you use it laid flat on a table. Its body is made out of polycarbonate material, unlike the 9 Pro Plus that has a glass back. The Realme 9 Pro has a full-screen display on the front with slim bezels around except for the chin, a plastic frame, and a plastic back. There's a punch hole for the selfie camera in the upper left corner. For buttons and ports, located on the right side is the power button. Unlike the Realme 9 Pro Plus that has an in-display fingerprint scanner, the Realme 9 Pro uses a side-mounted scanner this time, which we think is a downgrade. On the left side, you'll see the volume rockers and the hybrid SIM card tray. Buttons are well placed and easy to reach. Up top, there's a secondary microphone, while at the bottom, there's the USB Type-C port, 3.5mm headphone jack, speaker grill, and the primary microphone. Overall, the phone is quite slim despite a big battery and a big camera sensor. With a weight of 195 grams, we like how this feels in hand and is comfortable to hold thanks to its curved corners and edges. However, it attracts fingerprints and dust, so we suggest placing a case on. For display, the Realme 9 Pro features a 6.6-inch IPS LCD display with 2412 by 1080px resolution with a pixel density of 400 ppi. Unlike the 9 Pro Plus, Realme decided to go for a higher refresh rate rather than a 90Hz AMOLED, so this IPS screen is capable of up to 120Hz refresh rate. You can opt to use it on the high refresh rate, drop down to 60Hz, or use it on auto select to have a balance between performance and battery life. More on the display settings. There are a few things you can tweak around, such as switching to a system-wide dark theme, video color enhancer, and personalizing your preferred screen color. There's no mention of glass protection here, but it does have a pre-installed screen protector. The quality of the display is pretty good. It does have vibrant colors and great contrast. To top it all off, the Realme 9 Pro comes with a 240Hz touch sampling rate, making this not only highly responsive to your finger, but also gives a better edge when it comes to something like gaming, which we will talk about later. As for audio quality, the single bottom firing speakers are loud enough, but you would want to tone it down a bit as some form of distortion happens at max volume. Sound quality is decent enough to watch the occasional YouTube video and a few tunes you want to share with friends, but those who want a more immersive sound experience will benefit from the headphone jack. When it comes to software, the Realme 9 Pro runs on Realme UI 3.0 based on Android 12. If you're a previous or current Realme or Oppo user, you'll know what to expect as there's not much difference from previous versions. And out of 128GB of internal storage, only 110GB was available to use. Some of that space is consumed by pre-installed apps such as Booking.com, Soloop, Snack Video, Realme Link, Facebook, Agoda, TikTok, and Lazada, which you can thankfully all still uninstall. We also have the usual apps from Google such as YouTube, Gmail, Drive, Photos, and the like. There's an option to use an app drawer, and you can navigate with gestures or the usual buttons if you prefer. It also has a dedicated dark mode that can be toggled on in the settings, as well as an eye care mode to reduce eye strains at night. Under the hood, powering the Realme 9 Pro is a Qualcomm Snapdragon 695 with an Adreno 619 GPU. As for RAM, it comes in 8GB. When it comes to performance, the phone is excellent in day-to-day use, like browsing the web, heavy social media, video watching, and it's capable of handling graphic-intensive games with ease in their default setting. We weren't able to observe lags, and heat wasn't an issue. The quality of the graphics is surprisingly good for the processor this phone has, but don't expect top-notch graphics and performance, as this one doesn't have a flagship processor. If you're interested in benchmark scores that we got, check out our written review linked in the description box. As for security, there's a side-mounted fingerprint scanner and face unlock capabilities. As for connectivity, we have the usual connectivity features. We get Wi-Fi 5, Bluetooth 5.0, And for those who need NFC, we have that available as well. Plus, of course, this device supports 5G. Keeping everything running is a 5000 mAh battery, which is bigger compared to the 9 Pro Plus, but with 60 watts fast charging. On average use, it is good enough to last throughout the day. For juicing this phone up, the Realme 9 Pro supports 33-watt fast charging and takes 1 hour to reach from 0 to 100%. For battery results, read our article linked in the description down below. Now let's talk about the camera. The Realme 9 Pro comes with quad rear cameras consisting of a 64-megapixel f1.8 main, 8-megapixel f2.3 119-degree ultra-wide, 2-megapixel f2.4 macro. Meanwhile, for selfies, we have a 60-megapixel front shooter. The cameras provided us with awesome daylight photos, colors were vibrant, and the images were crisp. Realme's camera technology has been tweaked to make colors pop a little more than reality, making them appealing to look at and share on social media without the need for post-processing. Same with the ultra-wide shots. The macro lens, just like most other devices, is subpar. It's not much of a gimmick since it does work, but the quality is far from what you can get compared to the rest of its lenses. Portrait shots maintain a great subject-background separation, particularly when there's a good amount of light. Shooting in night mode is probably one of its best features, as it does a solid job in capturing images in low-light situations. Even with the night mode turned off, you get a great shot on this phone. Of course, we also got to try the starry mode, which gives us awesome results. When it comes to selfies, even without the beauty mode, this phone produces social media ready snaps with a decent amount of detail, providing for a great selfie. Color accuracy is good, and details are present. For videos, you can shoot up to 1080p at 30 FPS. Stabilization needs more improvement here. To wrap things up, the Realme 9 Pro is priced at 16,990 pesos and is a great smartphone. It has an attractive design, a large display, great cameras, excellent performance, good battery life, and fast charging. The chipset might seem a downgrade from last year's Realme 8 Pro, but performance difference is negligible. And with 5G finally hitting mainstream adoption this year, it's good to know that this phone can tap into that segment, making it a practical phone for day-to-day use. However, for its price range, you can find smartphones that also support 5G, but with AMOLED screens, bigger storage capacity, and higher refresh rate. So, that's it for our Realme 9 Pro 5G review. What do you think about it, guys? Will you buy one? Let us know in the comments down below. And if you like this video, don't forget to give a like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit that bell icon to be notified of our future uploads, and visit yugatech.com for the latest tech news and reviews. This has been Andre, and I'll see you guys in the next one.